Hey there, creepy peeps. My name is Nightmare Maven and I like to talk about horror. I'm also terrified of pregnancy. Just as a whole, it terrifies me. If you're new here, wow, what a video to start on. Welcome. I hope you stick around for a while. And if you're returning, welcome back. I understand that maybe that declaration I just made about pregnancy maybe needs a little explanation. Your body goes through some crazy shit when you're pregnant and that just scares me. And for whatever reason, this is like the irrational part of my fear, I think. I just feel like pregnant women are super delicate. Like if I accidentally like bump into their bellies or something, I'm gonna like jumpstart labor. So because of that, pregnancy horror movies or just horror movies in general that involve pregnant people scare me. Also, my best friend just had a baby, so I figured I would celebrate that by making this video. Hope you enjoyed this, Cassie. Really quick before we get into all this, I want to say thank you to my creepy patron peeps for supporting my channel. Thank you guys so much. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, the link is always in the description. I just opened up an annual membership, so if you get an annual membership, you get 2 months free. So number 5 on my list is Annabelle, which follows a young couple who come to own that bad bitch demon doll herself, Annabelle. Our protagonist Mia isn't pregnant for the whole movie, and thank the gods for that, because she gets put through the ringer in the first half of this movie. There's a scene where Mia gets stabbed like in the side of her belly, and there's another one I remember, I think she's like running away from somebody. It's been a minute since I've seen this movie, but she like falls flat on her stomach and just the baby ends up fine ultimately, but damn, poor kid's got all this trauma like even before it escapes the womb. And of course you have these themes of like raising children and that fear that I assume parents must feel, that, you know, you can do your best to raise a kid and keep them safe, and outside influences could just destroy all of that. We see that of course with Mia and her baby, but also at the beginning of the movie with Annabelle, like Annabelle is in the neighbor's daughter, Annabelle. I can't speak like from personal experience on like being a parent like that, but that seems pretty scary to me.
It's not easy being a dad.
Number 4 on my list is The House of the Devil. You heard me right, The House of the Devil. This movie, which follows college student Samantha who takes a babysitting gig in order to pay her rent and ends up in the clutches of a satanic cult, is all about rape culture. And unfortunately, pregnancy is sometimes a part of that conversation. So the end of the movie, of course, is where this really comes into play, when Samantha is impregnated with the devil's spawn. Is it the devil's spawn or the devil is being reborn? Once again, it's been a minute since I've seen this movie, so I don't remember the fine details. Mr. Ullman is giving her this, you know, like speech, of course, saying like it's too late to do anything. And of course, she ends that conversation by trying to shoot herself in the head and effectively, you know, stop the cult from winning, right? Like if she's dead, the demon can't be born or whatever it is. So AKA, she has an abortion, is, you know, it's in a hyperbolic sense, but that's what she does. And then to make things worse, Samantha wakes up in the hospital and I think the nurse tells her like the baby is gonna be fine or something like that. Like it's left on a very sinister note, like, so is it still, because there was like the whole thing with the eclipse in the movie. Obviously that's all past now. Is she still gonna give birth to a demon, to the devil? What's gonna happen? And that's horrifying because that's happening within her own body, and for the movie to just leave it on that without any resolution is so scary. The devil or not, childbirth is terrifying.
There is only one thing worse than a rapist. Boom. A child. No.
So speaking of body autonomy, number 3 on my list is Prevenge, which follows a pregnant widow who goes on a killing spree to get revenge for her partner's death. Ruth is convinced that unborn fetus is the one calling the shots and telling her to do all of these things, which obviously speaks to kind of what I mentioned earlier from some of my fears, like the crazy things that happen to your body when you're pregnant, like feeling of like loss of control over your own body because like everything is just like happening and you're kind of just along for the ride at this point. Like you're in the back seat and the fetus is the driver now and calling all the shots, and that's shown in the movie by, like I said, Ruth thinking that she hears her fetus telling her what to do. At one point in the movie, even her midwife says, obviously not knowing any of this, but she says like, well, your baby will tell you what's right for you, or something like that. Something to that effect, which is what Ruth thought has been happening the entire time anyway.
It's amazing. A 3-ounce fetus is calling the shots. It's so badass.
I'm talking a lot about pregnancy as if like I know what it's like, and I don't. I know I mentioned that at the beginning of the video, but I feel like it bears repeating. This video is not from like experience, it's from fear.
Coming in at number 2 is Swallow. Swallow is a young housewife who, when she becomes pregnant, starts feeling the urge to eat inedible objects. This is the ultimate body autonomy movie. Let's be honest though, like most pregnancy movies have those sort of themes anyway, because like I said, with the whole thing, like fetus is taking over your body and she just feels like she has no control over anything, which as she starts swallowing the inedible objects, just like random things like thumbtacks and marbles and batteries, because she has control over that. That's something about her body that she can control. So it's like the same themes as Prevenge, just told in a completely different way. And her trauma in the movie stems from her own conception and, you know, how she came to be in the world, which is a whole other discussion. But after she receives closure from that, she's able to take control over her own body again and get an abortion, and not in a hyperbolic way like in the House of the Devil. She just actually has one.
I got an abortion.
And finally, coming in at number 1, we're bringing it back. We're coming full circle to the horrifyingly violent things that happen to pregnant women in movies with Inside. Of course, I'm talking about the original French film, not the remake. The movie follows a pregnant widow who's being terrorized by a psychotic woman who wants her unborn child. So remember how I was bugging about Mia getting stabbed and like, you know, falling on her stomach in Annabelle? This movie is so much worse than that. I remember the first time I watched this movie, I was like, I found myself like clutching my stomach during certain parts, like as if I was pregnant also and just trying to like shield myself, you know what I mean? I mean, talk about being afraid of childbirth. This psychotic crazy woman literally breaks into this woman's house and cuts the child out of her stomach. Ah! And as if that's not bad enough, the movie constantly cuts back to like these CGI parts that are maybe a little bit cringy. The fetus just like sloshing around in its mom's womb. Every time there's like a stab or a punch or a kick to the stomach or something like that, it just, ugh. While this isn't the first movie that made me realize like how terrified I am of pregnancy, this is the movie that just like nail in the coffin, solidified it. So there's my list. So now I'll pass the question off to you guys. What are your favorite pregnancy horror movies / what are the ones that terrify you the most? I especially want to hear from moms in the comments. Anyone who has been pregnant, or if you're currently pregnant, like I just have to know, like, do you like actively avoid these movies? Did you seek them out while you were pregnant? Like, was it like cathartic in a kind of way? Or I need to know. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and become a creepy peep today. I post 2 new videos a week on Tuesdays and Fridays. So I'll see you next week with a new video. Until then, stay strange. Bye.